All right. Ready? All right.
What it do?
What up, man? So today we're on the chopping block with the homie. Well, personally, I know him as a different name, but his rap name is 60 East. He's an independent hip hop artist from Ontario.
Yeah, it was good.
What's good, man? How you doing?
What's cracking, man?
What up? Hey, glad to be here, man. I seen your post the other day about your party bus.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to get together. My bad. Get together and do this podcast for a minute. I remember talking about it like before I even got it started, but you were helping me along the way and shit, giving me some advice and shit. But yeah, I'm glad to be here with you.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get it, man.
Yeah. So let me just start off with the Roxanne.
Yeah.
Roxanne.
Yeah, that was the inspiration.
Yeah, the party bus.
Yeah, that was the inspiration to name it Roxanne, that song.
Really?
And then I have a joke with a friend, and I always say I've never met a girl named Roxanne that wasn't bad. That wasn't dope as fuck, you know? Yeah. So I was like, all right, that's going to be Roxanne.
Hey, it fits perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's up, man. I like your hustle. I noticed that right off the bat. Like, we've known each other about a year, and I just been peeping your game and watching you do your thing and shit. And I'm like, hell yeah, I like that.
Thanks, man. Likewise, too.
Yeah.
I see you. You're very multi-talented. You know what I mean?
It's too much sometimes. We're kind of talking about it off camera.
Yeah.
But sometimes we got to focus in. Well, that's what I admire about you. Like, just sticking with your rap shit and fucking making it work and making it stick, really. Because anything you do, that shit ain't easy. Like, you got to stick with it and do the 10,000 hours or... You know, you got to put in the work and grind and hustle and shit. So,
yeah, definitely wasn't easy. I've seen a lot of people come and go in the time that I've been active. People that I saw that had promising careers and
like talent.
Yeah, cats that I thought were way better than me, and they work at wherever now at the bank or something. You know what I mean? They were like never got there or whatever, and just because they didn't stick with it and yeah, I mean, I've just stuck with it. You know, I've gotten to have a little bit of success in the sense that I've gotten to work with people I've always wanted to work with. I've gotten to see places I never thought I'd see. And I think just sticking with it, consistency had a lot to do with it, because I never thought I was the most talented out of my friends or out of artists that I came across. But I always just knew that I had to put in the work, and I did it, you know what I mean? To this day, I just always look at it like I just got to keep going.
Yeah, that's the distinguishing factor right there, right?
Yeah, for sure. They say hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle.
Yep. Wasted talent is a sad thing, too.
Yeah, it's the saddest thing. The saddest thing in life is wasted talent.
Giving up on dreams and
shit. A Bronx
shit.
tale.
Yeah, I'm stubborn with that shit. I'm like, I'm never going to conform to the system. Like,
oh, man, there's so many times I had people tell me, like, bro, like, you need to get a job. Like, go back.
Get a real job.
Go back to school and blah, blah. And those are the same people now asking me for free tickets to my festival. You know what I mean? Or
like,
asking when they can go with me to Europe and shit like that. And it's just like...
You're like, free tickets, this is my job. You gotta pay me, homie.
Early on, too, you could see it. Like, year 1, year 2, people are like, yo, you started rapping. Why aren't you on the radio yet? And it's like, people's expectations are unrealistic from the outside. You know what I mean? They just see, like, why aren't you working with Dr. Dre? Why aren't you doing this, whatever? You know what I mean? And it takes a long time.
Especially in the music industry, I feel like.
I've always heard, coming into the game, my OG told me, an overnight success takes 10 years. It takes 10 years to be an overnight success. So I always had in mind, like, all right, it's going to take 10 years. So I always
So you were down to put in the work.
Yeah, I started in 2010. So it was just like, I always told myself by 2020, if I'm not anywhere near where I want to be, I don't want to be one of these bum ass rappers that I see on Facebook talking shit about these young rappers and like just so many old cats that just sour because they never made it. I was like, I never want to be that. And it was like, all right, if in 10 years I'm that, I'm gonna quit. You know what I mean? But it's like, I looked around last year, given last year was 2020 and shit hit the fan, but coming into 2020, I was like at an all-time high. Like my festival was rolling, my career was rolling. I was getting bookings from festivals like all over the country, and it was just like it felt like it was about to happen, and then 2020 happened. You know what I mean?
Slapped like everybody in the face.
But it kind of let me know that it's like I'm still on the right path. You know?
Yeah, I feel that. Especially kind of with the route that you're taking as an independent artist, right? Like a lot of people think, like you said, you're just gonna blow up overnight and then you're gonna reach like celebrity status and shit like that.
Yeah.
But it's more about the grind, or like your festival is it's the happiness of pursuit, right? Yeah. That shit's dope as fuck.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, as far as the music stuff, like we said, I know people that do work with Dr. Dre and no one knows who they are. And I know people that have gotten $1 million deals and nobody knows who they are. And they never got to that next level, even though they've reached a certain level of success. Like they never blew up and never became a household name. And it doesn't happen for a lot of people. And a lot of people that are out here, it's really I don't say blue collar, but it's like people are really out here just making a living. They're not out here balling or nothing crazy, but they're able to pay all their bills and focus on their creative endeavors and just live a regular life. Like, anybody that has a regular 9 to 5, but my job just happens to be art. And other people are out there like that, and realizing that coming into the music industry just let me know that there was an avenue for it. Like, even if I don't become Drake or Eminem, like there's the atmospheres and the people in between that make, that are huge, like on an independent level and stuff like that, and able to make a huge, like a good living, but they're just not that mainstream name or whatever. And as far as the festival, that's a whole nother ball game. But and that's dangerous business too. Like, you talk to any promoters, they're like, yo, don't get in this game if you're not willing to take those L's, because like they come.
You gotta be a different type of person, huh? You gotta be able to get fucking hit in the face and keep going, basically.
I've heard horror stories, people like putting up their houses and like everything they own and losing it all.
Damn, really?
Damn, yeah, bro.
It's a cold game, huh? But so, would you say what like those talented people that were able to work with Dr. Dre and whatnot, and those big names and shit like that, like, would you say that's the difference? Because I kind of wanted to talk about it as far as like, there's that thing of like the starving artists.
Yeah.
So I feel like today in this world with the technology and shit like that, these open avenues or whatever, there's no key holders or whatever. There's no gatekeepers.
Yeah.
So like you can put on yourself, pretty much put yourself on. So like, I mean, you think that's what a lot like of artists that have the talent they're missing nowadays? Like, because you kind of have to, or you're gonna be a starving artist.
I think it's a certain mentality. Like, I remember coming into the game and then having that mentality because I seen some of my friends that were super talented and they were like, no, I can't have a job. I got to do this 24/7. And then I did that for a while and I was like, man, I'm broke. I can't even afford to invest into CDs, to sell these CDs or putting gas to get to my show. Like, this ain't it. And I see people that constantly do that. They're like, no, I have to focus on my art 24/7. And a lot of the times they get stuck because either that mentality or just the lack of resources because of the lack of work outside of writing and stuff like that. And then so I seen that and I realized that I needed to find a job where I could make money and be flexible and be able to do this rap shit. And so I came up with certain hustles or whatever. I ain't trying to be dry stitching on here, but I came up with a game plan where I could do that. And then it was kind of like I was doing that for the first few years. And then I was like, you know what? I ain't trying to go to jail and this. So I was like, all right, I need to find like another, like a real decent job that can allow me to do this. And luckily I did. And to this day, like, I've always maintained being working. That's how we met, working in the work field and doing this music stuff, because I always knew that I needed that certain income to just be able to live off of. And like, I had a kid not too long ago, so just like, I can't just be the dude on the couch doing music, and I never wanted to be that. So I always just maintain that aspect of working and doing music.
Hey, that's mad props, man. It's hard to do. You gotta juggle both, wear all these different hats and shit. And I see you doing that though.
Early on too, like I was still going to school, so it was like I was going to school, working, and doing this music stuff. Because my bad. Was doing the music shit or whatever, and it was crazy. Those early days, looking back though, it's just like, yo, I love it now, but it was grueling. Like, working from 6 to 5 p.m., coming home, showering, driving to like San Diego or something, doing a show, coming back, going to sleep for like an hour or two, waking up and going to work. And it's like doing that multiple times a week just because we started getting bookings like crazy. And it just like, it was grueling at the time, but looking back, I was like, man, that was the shit. You know? Like, even to go,
it's kind of what made you in a way.
You
learned a lot through the process.
Going to perform in front of 5 people, like like driving hours to perform in front of 5 people, bro, and not for free, not getting paid, and then having to wake up like hours later and do it all over again. But like looking back, it was the shit. You know, those are like the times like you said that make you who you are.
Yeah, that's where the magic's at, man. In the mud, man.
Yeah, for sure.
In the gutter, bro. In the trenches.
They say it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Like you think when you get to where you want, it's just like, oh, you know, I made it's gonna be fun. It's like, nah, you're gonna be looking back. Like, remember like that time the bus broke down or whatever, like we got stuck in bumfuck Idaho, whatever. Yeah. Shit like that though.
But that's like the Hop Fest, like it's the happiness of pursuit. It's the grind. It's the journey. It's not the destination.
That's exactly the concept behind the name.
Yeah, that shit's fly as fuck.
Thanks,
fucks
man.
with it. Thanks, man. I like that. But yeah, we met not too long ago. We were doing some work. The homie Shaggy like told me about you and shit, and he was kind of like, I don't want to say, but like dick riding and shit, whatever. But he was like just basically saying you're putting in a lot of work and shit. And he used to record hip hop too.
Yeah.
Like. So yeah, we used to have a homie, rest in peace, that was like, I remember like being over there like, yo, you gotta go, like we were smoking out. He's like, we're about to record, so you gotta go, you know, hopping in the closet. One time I remember one time they're like, you could chill and shit. I was a younger kid though, I was a little homie and shit, and they're like, you could chill, and I just seen them, you know, like hop in the closet, and that shit was just, I don't know, it's just a dope ass outlet and like something to put your energy into and shit like that. I mean, how it started off for you was like way back in the day, right?
Yeah, it's basically a similar situation, but instead of like my older homies, it was my older brother and my older cousin and their friends, and they were recording at my mom's house.
Metric?
Yeah, Metric.
Shout out Metric.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, like, you know, a whole different Metric, but yeah, early on, like for me, it all started as a breakdancer. Like I had this older cousin that was just a huge influence on me. He's like that cool older cousin that like, you know, I wanted to be like. And he came over and started breakdancing one day, and he was trying to show my brother, and I picked it up because I was always the kid jumping off of shit and doing flips and shit. So I was like, it was natural for me, and I always had a big head, so I was able to do head spins really good. So I picked up breakdancing, and then from there it was just like, oh, I'm all about hip hop. Like I was used to dressing Adidas suits in 3rd grade and shit like that.
Huh?
And my older brother, he wasn't able to break dance because he was like lacked the coordination. So he was like, he always felt left out. So I remember one day we were watching Breaking or Beat Street, one of those movies, right?
The classics.
And I'm over there like studying moves, and I see my brother, like he sees the DJ on the movie scratching, and he's like, I just see a light bulb, literally, like I see a light bulb over his head, like, boom, spark. And then I was like, he paused the movie and he runs to the garage, and then he starts dusting off shit and finds my mom's old record player, like from 50 years ago or whatever. And then
that sounds like a movie in itself.
Yeah,
like,
it really is. Like it really is, dude. And like I always remember it because like from there, like it was on, but he just dusted the shit off, threw a record on, started scratching it, like fucking up the record because it was fucking up the needle, not knowing like you need a certain needle, it needs to be a turntable or whatever. But that I saw it spark, and from there, that's DJ Metric. DJ Metric. He started saving up, and like he eventually got a turntable set up. And he would be DJing while we'd be breakdancing, and that was our shit. Like we'd be in the garage just constantly doing that, and eventually that turned into him making beats, and then the beats, it was like a natural transition. My cousin, the same one, he started rapping over it, and then they would always make me rap, but I was like still a kid, and like, but I was just always around it, and then they ended up starting a crew, and they invited like a couple of the neighbors from the neighborhood or whatever, and they all of a sudden we got a little crew, and then we would just be making music. They would be making music. I would just be around. Like my brother would always kick me out of the room, like you were saying, like, yo, go play at the park, go smoke weed or something like that.
You're bouncing off the walls. And
yeah. So they were making music, and then by the time we were in high school, or they were in high school, I was in junior high. We had a little label. My brother was like smart enough to invest in CDs, and we started printing up CDs and selling them at school, and we had a buzz. And this is pre-MySpace, so everything was still like word of mouth. And we built a solid buzz in the scene, in the city and shit like that. And the main artist on our label eventually got offered a record deal. and soon after he got murdered at my aunt's house. And all that momentum, that label, the whole movement we had going just flat out just disappeared in 2006. And then Metric took his own route, became a DJ. All the other artists took their own routes, and then that's kind of when I started doing my solo thing. But I'm trying to give you the long story here, but yeah, that was my development from third grade until high school. Like that's what my story.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's what's up. Real hip hopper. So did you like? There's the 4 elements or 5, right? According to KRS-One. So tell me a little bit about those elements. Or let me try to guess. Hold up. I mean, I'm not gonna guess, but they're not in any order though either, right? Nah. So there you got the DJ, right? And then you got the MC.
Yeah.
And then you got graffiti and breakdancing, right?
Yeah.
And then the 5th, like according to KRS-One, would be what, like knowledge, right?
Knowledge.
Right.
Depending on who you ask, for me, like there's definitely more elements or elements that come from other elements.
Like sub
like orders. Beatboxing, like how beatboxing should already be its own element.
That's
a lot. Some people will say skateboarding. Like I've seen RZA say is part of it. Like if you remember the early '90s, like all the skate videos were playing Dale the Funky Homo Sapien and Living Legends and shit, and like. That whole it was an underground skateboard scene culture, RZA would say like aspects of martial arts and shit like that.
I mean, cause like I do, like my company right here is like Laced Up. It's kind of the same thing. I feel I was gonna mention that myself too, cause like we do freestyle. We're kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters of soccer. So we do soccer tricks and shit. And throughout my experience with it. Well, basically, it's like a hip hop thing. Even how they do the battles, it's set up like a b-boy style battle. Yeah, where you go like 30. It's 3 minutes total, I think, and then you do 30 seconds. One guy goes, and then in 30 seconds, another guys go, and they go back and forth, and then like you got the judges and shit. So it's like the bebop kind of feel element to it, but definitely like for me. I feel like a b-boy with the ball, kind of. I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
And the music is the major element when I'm out there doing that. It's hard to do it when you're just doing it, but when you got music doing it to the music, it's like it's dope.
There's a rhythm to it too, especially like a lot of my cousins play soccer and it's like a cipher, like they would get in a circle with the ball and they're just freestyling with it and they pass the ball. It's like passing the mic, you know what I mean? It's just like it's exactly
that's
like
how we do it. We call it like 2 drops because like you drop the ball sometimes, but it's like say you fuck up a rap or something. Like you try to do your combos, so you get 2 drops after that. You display your skills, do what you do, your style and shit. It's a big on style and shit like that too. So like it does remind me of that hip hop scene a lot. Like I was never really good at graphing or anything like that, or even MC or anything. But like I always loved the music. I always loved the vibe and like I'm a hip hop head. I consider myself a hip hop head. So like that shit is dope as fuck though. The music definitely is like a big part of what I do for sure. Without like making it, but actually yesterday my cousin was really good. Let me just go off on this riff too, because my cousin we used to live next door to each other when we were kids and shit, and his mom used to make him play the piano all the time, and I would be sitting there waiting like, damn, let's go play outside, and she'd be with the stick sitting there, and I'd just be watching him, and like she was strict and shit, but like he would have to play like a half hour a day or whatever. But I was like, bro, like you got skills, like so he bought an Akai, and then I was trying to teach him how to fuck with the software and shit. So he's actually pretty dope. Like he doesn't know how to like really formulate anything really. I mean he does. He was doing like little 4 bars and shit, like loops. So he was playing and looping like his own shit. So it was pretty dope. But I was trying to get him into it and like hopefully he'll be good at it though.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
Yeah. But shit, man. What else you got going on? Like with the shows ain't really popping right now. So I mean, what keeps you busy?
Making music. This past year was kind of a blessing that I didn't get to focus on Thought Fest because it's just become such a big part of my life.
Yeah.
I went back to school last year. I realized that I only had like 4 classes left until I got a AA. So I went back and knocked out 3 classes. I'm trying to knock out the last class this year, but I made so much music last year, like so much that I'm just releasing shit once a month now. Like I'm just so stocked up.
So it was good to kind of have that break so you could just focus on the music, like you were saying before. Like you got to balance the artistry and the business acumen, the business side of things. So
yeah, so this past year I got to focus a lot on the creative, and like from music videos to just mapping out my whole plan for like the next couple of years, to writing, like working on a couple movie scripts and like books and just shit like that, just keep me busy. But like like I realized like I would love to be a writer, like aside from just making music. I would love to write movie scripts and write books. That'd be ideal, you know?
Yeah. So you read a lot too, right?
I started to a couple years ago, maybe like 3-4 years ago is really when I started picking up the books. A couple years ago. Well, I mean, like, it feels recent because I'm kind of not necessarily old, but you know, I haven't read for most of my life. You know what I mean? Notice a lot of kids like that start reading early, like it's something that carries on for the rest of their life. That wasn't me. Like I never give a fuck about
you were writing though, right?
Yeah, I always wrote. But I never give a fuck about reading until maybe like 2016. So like within the last 4 or 5 years is when I started reading, and like last year or the year before is really when it was like, all right, 1 book a month.
Yeah. What books you on right now?
I'm reading Eminem's book right now.
Oh,
the Way I Am book.
Hey, yeah, I didn't even know you had one. So you mentioned RZA too. You ever read RZA's book?
I haven't, but it's on I think I ordered it.
I brought it for you.
Oh, dope shit! Thanks, man.
Yeah, I got a copy, so I'll let you. It's dope though. I like it a lot because, like you mentioned, he talks about like
Just the Tao,
the Tao of Wu.
The Tao of Wu, yeah.
But he talks about martial arts and the whole Eastern philosophy of Zen and all that type of shit. So
I've been wanting to read it. Yeah,
I like RZA. I think to me he's one of my favorite just artists of all time. Really, just what he did with Wu and how he kind of was the head of that kind of, you know, made that come together. But like he's a producer and he's been you know around forever. So like. And just everything, bro, and his raps too are dope as fuck to me. So like to me, he's actually one of the cats. Like when I was younger, I had an older brother. He was like 6 years older than me. So like that's how I was introduced to hip hop. Like my brother bringing home CDs, hiding it from our parents and shit like that. But I remember looking at and that's what I kind of miss about like buying the old physicals. But the album cover on the which one? It's the one before Digital Bullets. It's his first one, right? What's that shit called? RZA. Fucking what is it? The first one.
The Prince Hakeem.
Nah. He was no. The second one then.
I don't know.
Fuck. Man, that shit's dope as fuck. The album cover's dope as fuck. I remember going through the album, looking at all the art and shit. I was like, this shit is sick as fuck. But so yeah, he was like one of the first hip hop artists that I was like I really dug into and like kind of studied and shit, and was just like wowed away from it. It was just so different. That East Coast vibe is a lot different than West Coast. So
Shaolin, bro, just like their whole how they and use the kung fu and all the martial arts to inspire the music and shit. So dope. Hadn't been done. Changed the world. You know what I mean? They're Wu-Tang, go to China and shit out there. Like, they're huge, bro.
Yeah, they're worldwide. That's what's crazy. That era in the early 90s and shit, and fucking Wu was like crazy. Yeah. Wu was crazy, but yeah, like RZA and shit. But yeah, I got that book for you. That shit's dope.
Thanks, bro. So many different characters in the crew, too. Just and they all, how they came about it, and they're all like comic books and shit like that. Marvel characters, superheroes, like... So dope, man. Like,
I like that idea of just having a group, and that was like the big thing about it. Like we're a group, you know what I mean?
At that time too, in the '90s, that was the thing, like big crews and fucking like.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Like you don't really see too much of that nowadays.
Nah, because people like, hell no.
It's harder, huh? Mm-hmm. Because I remember like just hearing RZA talk about just like, you know, imagine dealing with like ODB on tour or something like that. You feel me?
Crazy.
That shit's crazy. But he talks about that in his book too, kind of like he mentions ODB and shit. It's pretty cool.
I still want to be part of a crew. Like I was part of the first Dirt, but we never really did it like this. But I heard Eminem talk about it like in an interview where he talks about D12. And he talks about how there's 6 of them, but they call themselves 12s because each of them is 2 people. Yeah. And it's like, all right, I'm Eminem, but I'm also Slim Shady. Ego, Shady. And then everybody has their alter ego where they're fucking these crazy fucking wild motherfuckers. Yeah. And I was like, I always thought that was dope. And it's just like, people like Madlib and people that just have these different aspects to MF Doom, like different characters that they turn into and shit like that. I always thought that was dope. One day I might just pop out and like wear a mask, like just be somebody completely different, bro. And, like, and people are just like, yo, who is that? He kind of sound like 60.
Hey, that'd be sick.
And then I'm gonna like completely deny it and be like, yo, I don't know who the fuck this person is.
Some Marx, or was it Shakespeare shit?
Yeah, bro. I think that should be so dope.
You're like, who the fuck is this guy?
No one's steal my idea. I'm sure someone's gonna do it, but like,
that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So you got the merch right here too. Yep, you got the merch. Yep. What else you got going on? You said you got the movies. You're trying to do some movies. You said like some.
Yeah, I'm trying to write movie scripts. And just see what happens. Like I would love, low key. Like I think my first script. I might produce the movie. Like just because it's so like a low budget type shit, and I just kind of want to get my feet wet. I'll see what happens with that. But other than that, like my ideal situation would be to write scripts and be able to sell them and pitch them to people until the day where I can produce my own shit.
So what's the little preview of the first one you want to do?
You guys are actually in it. Yeah, it's like I don't want to give away the premise of the story,
right,
but it's
we'll keep it low key.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Clerks deal, like it's a comedy, but just kind of like
I feel that
of where I came up from work wise, you know what I mean? Work situations that I've gathered over the past 10 years. Yeah, I'll tell you off camera. But
boy, I like it. I'm excited.
But that one I'm really excited about just because I have so much material stacked and it's fucking hilarious.
And it's not gonna cost a lot of money, you said?
Nah, it's not like I'm fucking filming in Africa or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I literally just need like a fucking 1 or 2 locations.
Hell yeah, around the IE or what?
Yeah.
Yep. So, man, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? You got anything you want to talk about?
Movies, man, bugs, music.
You are a movie head. I noticed that
hella
too.
Movie head, dude.
Hell yeah. So, damn, I don't know. What you say you were reading recently?
Eminem. Before that, all right. Before that, I read It's called Not Your Average Mexican Daughter. And it's fucking dope. It's fucking hilarious, dude. And it's like, I guess it's like the equivalent of a chick flick, if I'm allowed to still say that and not get canceled. But like,
you can say that on my show.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't. I recently heard that was offensive. So
yeah.
But I guess that would kind of be what you would call this book because it's kind of female characters. But I didn't get that out of it. I thought it was amazing. Hilarious. To the point where like I followed the author after reading it just because I was so blown away by how funny she was as a writer, and I started reading her Twitter, and I assumed she's just as hilarious on Twitter, and I think it's dope that like literally yesterday or 2 days ago she announced that the book actually got picked up for a Netflix movie.
No way.
And this is the first time that I've ever been on the I read the book first debate. You know, like I remember people always be like, oh, the book's way better, the book's way better. But I've never been a person that read the book first and anticipated the movie. And now that I am, it's hella exciting, dude, because I've never been on this side of it. And like after reading the book, I'm like low-key promoting, like, yo, you guys need to read this book. It's dope. And then I see it get announced, and it's just like the anticipation is there. And I think it's dope just because for the people that read books, I join you now. You know, I feel like I'm part of the club of like, oh yeah, I read the book and then the movie comes out type deal, and it's just like something new to be excited about.
Doing adult things.
I guess, you know what I mean. But seeing that also like inspires me to write down all my stories and you know try to make a book or try to get it to be a movie or something like that. You know, just I recently realized how much I would like to be a writer. Aside of I've always wrote, you know, I mean, I've always wrote music and also people. Another good book, that was one of my favorite books last year. Another one was a Supermarket, and it was written by Logic, the rapper. And it has nothing to do with rapping or music. It's just like it's kind of like a Fight Club meets fucking Shutter Island type deal. But it's fucking dope. You know what I mean? it's not a comedy, it's not funny, but it just like had me hooked. Like one of those books where it's just like I started it and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go home, come home and fucking read the book. Like I didn't want to do shit but finish this book.
Hey, it's crazy how books be like that.
Yeah, it hooked me, and then that's why it was one of my favorites of last year. But that also inspired me because he was just kind of like, yo, I started reading books and inspired me to write a book, and now I'm a bestseller.
Damn.
So it was like I would like to do that. A lot of my favorite artists have made that transition.
Damn, I'm interested in that book now. That sounds dope as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. So I read a lot of books last year, man.
Hell yeah. About to spark this blunt.
Yeah.
Fuck. Shit. So who's top 5 dead or alive?
Oh man,
that's a tough one. It always probably switches or what?
It's funny because I got tired of not tired. I don't want to sound like a fucking whatever, but like I got tired of not getting asked that or hearing that debate.
Mm-hmm.
But
you got a song like
yeah,
top
yeah.
10?
I was about to say I have a song. I wrote the song top 10 to answer that question, and just like, yeah. Okay. I wrote that song to answer that question.
Song out.
Yeah, check the song out. I would rap it for you guys, but I don't want to, try and do all that right now. It's like
maybe after.
It's like a 5-minute song too. You know what I mean? It's just like straight through. But I wanted to be creative. Like, I mean, I'll get to the question, but when it comes to the song, like, I've always liked creative songs. Things that no one's ever done before, things that people have never tackled before, you know what I mean? Like for example, like Eminem's Guilty Conscience or Stan. Like, think one of those things
or
that
Nas, the Rewind.
Yeah, a lot. The list goes on. I actually made this crazy list. It's like 100 of.
You have a song like that too.
Most creative song. I have. Yeah, not Rewind.
It's something similar though, right?
Maybe. Like I don't remember, to be honest. Like on the spot, like low key, I've made and released so much music recently. Like my catalog is beyond me now. Like I don't even fucking know anymore, bro.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But I've always liked creative songs, and like that was the inspiration behind creating that. But yeah, on the song, the top 10 was Rakim, Pharoah Monch, Eminem, Nas, and Cannabis. But yeah, that changes depending on what we're talking about. Like, people say the greatest, and to me, greatest means the most accomplished.
Okay.
People say the best. Who's the best rapper of all time?
You're like,
totally different question.
Yeah.
Like, who could win in a fucking?
So you break it down in your head.
Yeah.
So
I'm a nerd, dog.
It's not a simple answer.
I'm a rap nerd, historian.
You're like, you got a couple hours.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like, I love to nerd out on this shit too, though. But yeah, I mean, who makes the best songs? Who's the best songwriter? There's so many aspects of it. But if you were to ask me who I think is the best, like who could be in a Royal Rumble of rappers, and who's gonna be fucking the last one standing, that's a different question.
Dang, that reminded me of a lyric I was listening to, and it was funny as fuck of yours, and it was something about. Something I think like going off the top, like Mankind or something.
Oh yeah.
That shit was hard. I was like, oh, I know Mike would have appreciated that one too. But because I remember watching that shit, bro. Yeah. And Mankind's one of my favorites, dude.
Oh, he's the GOAT, bro.
Yeah, hell yeah. That was a maniac. That's what I love about him. He like broke his fucking tooth, didn't he? That time? Or
probably. He was always fucking himself up. I love I know we both listen to West Side Gun and them.
Yeah.
And like that's one thing I always liked about them is all the wrestling references. And for me, for the people that I know we were talking about earlier, but for me it's movie references, since I'm such a movie fucking nerd. Like every one of I'm fucking they're all movie references. Like for the people that know and listen to my shit, they're like, oh, he's watching this right now, or he's watching that, or yeah. But
you know what's crazy? Like I kind of noticed with like hip hop artists, they're into like movies a lot. It seems like, and like visuals, like cartoons and shit.
Yeah, cartoons
or like
comics, video games.
Yeah,
I mean it's.
And
art,
I feel like they can see things and they love seeing things, but they are able to articulate it. You know what I mean, and put it into words. So they paint pictures and make art with words, but you have to have the eye too, kind of, and the ear, obviously. But I don't know. I always kind of noticed that about hip hop artists. Thought that was cool.
A lot of the fools that I know are just like nerds on what certain shit. You know
Yeah,
what I
they
mean?
geek
Some
out,
people
like,
are like
super
super
hard.
dope photographers. Other fools
Yeah.
are like hella into movies, like the depths of movies.
So exactly, you like
filmmaking.
it takes kind of like an eccentric type of personality to go real deep, real deep.
Yeah, I feel like a creative is a creative, or artist is an artist. You know, like they're gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
Or whatever it is, and I feel like the appreciation is there.
yeah, and it's like they different mediums too. It's like they like to learn different mediums too. I feel like you want to do movies and books and shit, but it's all kind of back to your first love and passion, which was writing, MCing, and shit like that.
I feel like they call it the elements of hip hop too, because it's all how you interpret it. Like some people can make it, create it, say it, speak it, write it. Other people can poetry in motion. Like I'm gonna show you how this beat moves with my feet and with my hands. DJs can do it with their hands. You know, they know how to manipulate music to the rhythm of their head and the shit that like.
And then they all come together
like
too.
Graffiti artists, it's like, all right, I'm gonna listen to something and consume it, and then I'm gonna create something visually out of it. And I've always just loved that.
It's mind blowing.
It's fucking fire.
Each element is like, wow. Like breakdancing is crazy as fuck.
And like having like I was speaking of like my older cousins and brother, and like how we would freestyle in sessions, we would all be in a garage together, and it's like, okay, I'm over here writing raps and doing whatever. My brother's making beats, doing yada yada yada. My other cousins doing graffiti. We're all listening to the same beat, and the other cousin's got the ball. He's over there freestyling.
That's
shit.
what's up.
And it's like we're all interpreting it different, but we're all in the same creative space.
Damn, like, on the same frequency, but it's just manifested differently.
Yeah.
Damn, that shit got me thinking right now.
Energy is crazy.
Energy,
I got a story for you.
Yeah.
I thought it was dope hearing the stories of Kanye West's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy album, the one I have right there. It's regarded as like one of the best albums of all time. But he said his session was like he rented a studio in Hawaii, and he flew out all these creative people, singers, rappers, producers, DJs, graffiti artists, fucking visual artists, architects, fucking just all these random creative people, and he was like throwing them in the room together, and he's like, all right, everybody create. And he would tell the visual artists, he's like, all right, vibe off these fools, whatever you're hearing in the music, create it, create it visually for me. And like there would be graffiti artists in the room, and like he didn't have them drawing nothing. He would just be like, yo, what do you see? What do you hear? Like when you're hearing this song, like tell me, describe to me, throw your input into it. And it's just like always had me thinking, it's just like that's a sick motherfucker, first of all. But that's a genius artist right there. They would even think of that and come up with that.
That is
like,
some other level
give me
shit.
your graffiti artist input into my music creation. Like
that's some scientific
shit. Bro, that's genius as Kanye.
Hey, he's one of my favorite artists too. I mean, I like everything about him, really, like how he started, you know, himself producing, then he got into rapping and shit. Even if people write his raps, whatever, it don't matter. Yeah. But he's very creative. He's always been a visual person too. And then I don't know, like his interview with Joe Rogan was dope. It kind of let me know a little bit more about himself, and I was like, damn, that's dope. Like he wants to grow fucking, like, have a community basically, and it's all about agriculture and like spacing. He's all about like spatial awareness and like, I don't know, this fool's on some other type of engineering type of shit, like engineering the world around him and making shit come together like harmoniously, like how he does with music. Like I could just imagine how he looks at life is like putting together a track or something, you know what I mean? Like taking these different elements and putting them in the right space where they need to be type of shit.
Super creative. Yeah. I call people like him just super creative.
On another level.
Yeah, it's just their minds just operate different, you know what I mean? And I don't know his particular situation, but a lot of people is, you know, just done a lot of acid or done a lot of whatever, and they're out there, you know what I mean?
TCB song.
Yeah, they're out there like fucking they just looking at the world different and interpreting things different, you know.
Yeah, Kanye.
And a lot of people, I don't know if he has it, but I think it's called synesthesia. some people, where they see music in colors.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that too.
Yeah, shit like that. My producer, the main dude, Feel the Pain, he has that, and like, whenever we create together, I always ask him like, "Yo, what color are you seeing?" And he'll tell me, and it's just like, okay, that kind of gives me the mood of the song, and it's like we start vibing off of that.
Damn, that's tripping me out right now. That's some. And I'm
like,
shit.
Yo, I try to see it. I close my eyes, and I'm like, I'm not seeing the same color. What's going on? But other times, like, I'll see a color in my head, and then I'll ask him, and he'll be like, "Yo, this color." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking." I'm like,
"No way,
we're on the same page," type deal. But
you think it's something you could kind of tap into and build on more? But some people just have it.
But
some people just have it, huh?
Yeah, I could tell you, energy is a motherfucker, bro. Because like the energy when you're in a room creating with somebody is a lot different than when they send you an email, and you're just writing to the beat.
That's funny because I was talking about that on the way here because like. I follow this dude, Seth Godin or whatever. He's kind of a nerd, but I like reading his books and shit. And his podcast is cool and shit. But so I'm on his blog list. He sends little blogs every morning or whatever. He writes a blog every day.
Dope.
Every single day. He's wrote a blog for like 20 years or some shit. That's how he writes his books. He does a blog every day and it kind of just adds up to being a book. But he talked about avocado time and how avocados fucking, it's all about timing. Like sometimes they're too early and then you wait too long and then they get fucked up or whatever. But he was talking about how like in person nowadays, we don't have that really much anymore with all this social distance, all this crazy shit going on and shit. But he was just saying like this right here, face to face time. He called it avocado time when the avocado is like perfect. And so it's like we gotta take advantage of these moments and shit. And like you said, it's a different energy. That energy is different when you're face to face with someone in a real time fucking interaction and shit. And nowadays it's like going in a weird direction with like just. I mean, I don't know. It's cool at the same time with like people being able to talk from distances and get together, and then like watching interviews, two people different parts of the world, and then we could watch it at home on YouTube or whatever. That's cool as fuck, but it's just cool to have the interactions right now. So I don't know. I'm high as fuck.
Yeah,
I'm on some hippie shit.
Nah, yeah, energy is a motherfucker. Definitely believe in that. Especially with the creative process.
So, what's up with your homie? Like, did he teach you how to rap? The homie that got murdered?
Yeah, kind of. He kind of taught me how to write bars. Before that, like I would just write fucking run-on sentences. Yeah. And it would look like I was writing an essay. And then he's the one that told me, he's like, oh, this is a setup bar and this is a punch. This is a staff, like this is how you write 4 bars. And then he's taught me every song is a 16-bar verse. And he said, you got to write 4 of these. And his writing, I would always find his notepads around my mom's house. And it was just like so nice and neat and just like minus punch, space, minus punch. And to this day, I write in his format.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Other than that, like, and he was always telling me, he was my biggest influence, you know what I mean? And just like to this day, I'm still trying to be him.
Who taught him how to rap?
I don't know. That's a good question. He was young, man. I wish I would have had more time to like really get to know him like that. But like he left us like 2+ albums, so it's just like I'm still listening to his albums to this day. And last year I actually released. I did a little documentary, a little 3-part documentary. I just trying to do like a documentary and trying to get more into visual writing and shit.
Yeah, that shit was dope.
So I wanted to tell his story, and I've had people, like I released the song too, and I threw some of his music at the end of my song, and I've had people hit me up like, yo, I discovered this dude through that song, and now I'm a fan of him, and like I've gone and looked up his shit and fucking.
What was his name?
Space Ghost.
And
they're like, yeah, so they're like, it's dope to 20 years later that people are still discovering his music through me, which he helped develop. You know what I mean? So it's like his legacy continues to live on.
Yeah, that's what's crazy about music too.
Yeah.
Like Pac and like Nip, like everyone, that passed away, I
hope one day, like whenever I pass, like
oh yeah, for sure,
years after I pass,
especially you got a kid and shit,
people are still discovering the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy. It lives on forever, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
To this day, I'm like still listening to his shit, catching shit that I still haven't caught before. You know what I mean? Even
what's
like,
the one you have? It's called Remember something. When
I remember. Yeah.
That's the one with him at the end, right? Rapping.
Yeah,
and shit?
he's rap. We threw some of his music at the end.
Yeah, I was feeling that whole thing because, you know, I don't know. I have a homie that was, you know, he got murdered too. So I was just feeling that when you, I don't know, a lot of your shit, you got range, you know. So like you got the breakup songs and shit, the heartbreak songs. And, you know,
gotta have those for the chick, for the ladies, man.
Yeah, we were listening to Almost Summer on the way here. We're like, this is about right. Like driving through California, you know, on the 60 and shit. It's sunny ass day and shit. About to be summer, but it's still only winter. Like that's how it is out here though. But I was like, damn, it's all relevant, and you know, that shit's tight, man. I wish I could rap. I mean, I think I could, but I never had any structure either. Maybe you could teach me how to write a song one day.
Yeah, let's get it, man.
I think that would be dope as fuck.
I always encourage people to pursue their creatives. You know what I mean? A lot of people that I know just work and go home, go to sleep, and do it again, or go home and watch fucking sports or something. I always encourage them, like, yo, write some shit down, like while you're watching sports, draw, or like fucking just add that, you know, like use that part of your brain, you know, and maybe you'll find something you're passionate about. Like I have a homie, a rapper, he recently picked up knitting. He started sewing and shit, and now he's like sewing fucking dope ass shirts and selling them and shit. And he's just like, yo, I became passionate about it. I wanted to learn it. And he's like, now I'm making my own threads, selling custom designs.
No way.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's dope, you know.
So it's something in artists. I kind of suffer from it myself, where it's like I always need something to do, which is kind of why you end up. It's like a neurotic thing where you got to have something to do, and you end up getting good at shit though. Yeah. But sometimes for me, I lose my not patience. I'll go in, but I'm always looking for the next new thing too. I don't know. Something like you're saying, knitting, like doing shit. You gotta have your hands doing something, or you know what I mean. It's like you master something, and you kind of want to do something else. Yeah, a lot of artists are like that.
Man, I've been trying to step away from that though, like, and just focus on the music, and like that's why I was saying about the podcasting, like I haven't done a couple episodes up, and I was like, nah man, it's just, this is a craft in itself. Like I'm disrespecting the fools that are doing this full time. They're looking at me like I'm an amateur, you know, and it's like but they'd be me looking at them like if they try to rap, you know. So it's kind of like, I don't know, not necessarily stick to what you're good at, but I feel
it's like
you're
Michael
gonna do
Jordan
something,
trying to play baseball.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna do something, do it. You know what I mean? And or you don't necessarily have to do it for competition either. You're not trying to be the best, and you're not trying to make it a business. It's just like, dog, if you want to.
It's actually the opposite sometimes. Just do it just because you want to, not because like you're trying to be the next best, dopest thing. Let me just try it. Can I just try it without having to master it? Like,
I get both. I get both sides of it too, though. But oh shit, what was I about to say?
It's just time. Like I feel like it's time. Like
yeah. Oh my bad.
You gotta be good with your time. You know what I mean?
I had a conversation recently with somebody, and they told me we had a huge conversation about art and doing art versus making money or doing it as a business. And he was kind of like, yo, why are you making this album? Why are you making art? Like, are you doing it strictly to make the double your money? Because if that's the case, you could have spent the money on crack and made more money. You know what I mean? For example. And then it's kind of like, no. Or are you just trying to make the best piece of art that you can make? And, you know, hopefully I put yourself in a situation to make the money back. But why are you doing art? And it really made me question everything, dude. And then I realized, like, yo, I'm not making this shit for business purposes. Like, I'm not signed to a label where it's like, yo, I'm really just trying to make the best piece of music that I can make, or the best album I can make, and put it out there, and hopefully it catches. You know, hopefully that it's all a fucking luck. Not luck, but it's just you're throwing shit out there, something might catch or not. And it's like Picasso wasn't huge until, you know, after he died or whatever the situation was, but like a lot of artists also never become a Picasso or something like that, but they have pieces on the wall that are better than Picasso, arguably, or argues Picasso shit, you know, like but it's art. It's how do you look at the creation of your art? Like,
No, I feel you, because like you mentioned it earlier, you did the shows, for 5 people, where you're going out of your way for free, because you would do that shit for free because you love it that much. I felt the same way. Like that's how I got dope at what, and then like I was able to travel the world and do shows too. Not the world really, but the country at least. But I wanted to talk to you about that too. I know you traveled the world and shit. Met a lot of people. Thought that'd be cool as fuck to do.
What you want to know, man?
Man, what was your favorite country you went to, or like list some countries you went to?
Easy. Spain. I don't know if it's because like I'm Mexican and I know how to speak Spanish, so I blended in there. Felt like I was at home with my peoples and shit. But it has like the California vibe. Like Barcelona specifically felt like Venice.
Yeah.
It's like you on the beach.
People smoking
weed, that vibe,
art and shit. A lot of art too, right?
Yeah, a lot of art, a lot of dope, a lot of like crazy bar party scene, like a party city and shit like that. But I just had so much fun in Barcelona.
Food was good.
Yeah, food, Spanish food, it's just dope, Amsterdam's cool. I probably spent the most time in Amsterdam out there. They got dope food too.
How's the weed out there?
It's all right. They got some fire shit.
But Cali's where it's at, right?
Nah, it's crazy. Like it's crazy that California is seriously where the best weed in the world is.
Yeah,
like, we're lucky enough to live here. But like I've been so many places, and the best weed they have is the shit that we send them that we don't want. You know what I mean? Like,
really?
Like, I got that Cali. I'm like, you got the Cali that the cats in Cali don't want. Like,
that's so out of state.
So often, yeah. But like, Florida had some alright. Like I don't know, Maine. I think Maine got their shit from Canada, obviously, because it's right there.
So you've been all over the United States?
Yeah, I've toured the United States completely 3 times, and then I've done sections like West Coast tours or East Coast tours a couple times, and then I've done Europe maybe 4 or 5 tours.
Hell yeah! So I mean, what's the difference from those 5 people show to what you got going on now? Because you got a lot of shit. You're like, you're doing shit with a lot of different artists. You got a lot of crowd instead of 5 people. What's the most people you've like been in front of?
Man, the biggest show. I don't know. Damn, it's a hard one. Maybe the biggest show I did was at the Observatory in Orange County. It was sold out. Murs and Ninth. I was opening for Murs and Ninth Wonder.
Damn, that's sick.
I don't know, like 750 people.
Yeah.
I've done like festivals too, but it's just like you can't really count it. It doesn't. You just see people like, scattered all over the place. So it's kind of like, I never had the festival situation where I'm on stage and there's like fucking thousands of people there.
But damn, you've done the festivals though, right?
Yeah, so I've done festivals. There's like hundreds of people there and walking by, but it's
the
like,
energy, I'm saying, like from the 5 shows to there, like it's just.
I mean, the energy. A lot of I've done shows where the 5 people show was better than the 100 people show.
Yeah.
And it's just like sometimes it clicks and sometimes it don't. Sometimes you're too hungover. Sometimes you're too drunk in the moment.
Oh shit! So yeah, you're out there. I know how that is because you're just out there. You're living life and shit. And you're in a different city and people are loving you and you get fucked up.
Yeah,
when you're like you didn't mean to, huh?
Yeah, and like luckily, like over these past couple years, like I've like grown
got
up.
Better.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I know not to get drunk every night. It's like if you're gonna drink, have a drink or two. Like trying to come down from the show high or that one drink before the show. And then some nights it's kind of like, someone on the tour's birthday, so we're gonna get turned up, or fucking, you run into homies from that live in New York, and they're like, let's have a couple drinks, whatever. Like,
damn, that's tight, and you want to be out there, hell yeah.
Yeah, but it's just kind of like you see it. Sometimes fuck people up because like the next day they're all hungover, can't perform, sound like shit, or get sick, whatever it is.
What about the groupies?
Nah, I mean early on, like I've been laced down for the past couple of years, but like early on, that I had a good run. You know what I mean?
I was just kidding with you.
My pre-daughter years, I had a good run.
So the food's dope though, just traveling to trying different food and shit, huh?
Yeah. Lately it's been that. Before it was what we could afford. You know what I mean? We was just like, we got $5, like we're all getting McDonald's today. But like lately it's kind of been like, I'm making money off the show or I'm making money off the merch table. It's like, we can get something dope. And like the last 2 tours I went on were with bigger artists, and the bigger artists I got the bigger budget, so they're like, whenever we're in Maine, they're like, yo, Maine is known for their syrup, you know what I mean? So let's go fucking eat chicken and waffles or something like that. And then anywhere we go, it's either like, all right, this place is known for that, let's go get that, or it's like, look up some shit that like famous diners, drives, and dine-ins and drives shit. Like, let's look up something
pizza
dope.
spots.
Yeah, whatever. Like, just something that's known, and then we'll go there and try it out. You know, makes a good Instagram flick, adds to the tour story. Fuck yeah. And then it's another story. You know.
Hell yeah. So you it's different out there in the like other countries though, or what? How's it out there with the shows?
It's kind of the same. It's basically the same, like politics and shit like that. People not the appreciation, but I think it's just like out there you could be like a Guns N' Roses in the United States. You know, like when rock artists get older in the United States, they could still sell out arenas. Metallica, Chili Peppers, they could still sell shit out. With hip hop, it's not like that in the United States. Like if you're old, like you're like considered washed. People ain't trying to see that. Like they want the new hot shit, and that's what hip hop has kind of always thrived on, is being the young hot shit in the moment. But in Europe, like KRS-One in Europe is like Aerosmith, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, that's fucking KRS-One, you know what I mean? Like for some reason in the States it's not that, and like that's probably the biggest. Well,
difference they kind of probably like any Americans, huh? Really?
They're just like, no, I feel like that was like a stigma, and like low key that's why I went out there, because I had heard that, but maybe they caught on because they're like, nah, we ain't having that shit. Like but yeah, I've been out there a couple of times and just kind of been able to find the people that like my shit, and I feel like it's like that for music. It's kind of like, dog, you can make fucking. I can't say that. Sorry, I'm about to say something, but I was like, you can make music about like the illest shit that you think that nobody likes, that literally nobody likes, but there's so many people in the world. Somebody's gonna like that shit, and your job is to find that one person in the city. Even if it's the one person in the state that likes your shit, your job is to find that one person, bro. And like as a musician, that's why you just gotta constantly be on the road, because even if you perform in front of 500 people, only maybe 5 people out of that 500 is like, yo, I thought you were dope, I'm gonna follow you or whatever. Like, and I feel like that's the journey. That's literally a musician's journey. Is finding the people that like your shit.
That's dope. What about with producers? How do you find producers? I always wonder that. You just
for me, a lot of it has just been organic, like people that just got thrown into my life. Phil the Pain, that does most of my shit, was in my crew First Dirt, and he was from New York, so I would have never met of him had he not been part of that group. Omega, who produced my very first EP, I met him via Facebook. Like I just posted on Facebook one day, like, yo, I'm looking for producers, post your shit, and like a gang of people posted, and out of everybody I clicked on him, and I was like, this motherfucker nice, bro. I was like, this dude is dope, and I hit him up, and turned out he lived right down the street, and I was like, oh shit, all right, let's build. And like we ended up making that project.
It's a lot easier that way, right? Instead of, like you say, emailing, you guys were able to work with each other like one-on-one.
That was dope. Another, like, in this age, like, I'll tell a crazy story. I was on Instagram one day just going through like hip hop producer hashtag or boom bap producer, some fucking stupid hashtag on Instagram, right? And I'm just scrolling, whack, dope, whack, dope. And I'm like, all right, I'll just message these fools like, yo, I think you're dope, let's work. And I found this kid, and I was just like, yo, this kid's dope, let's work. And he sent me some beats, and we talked for a while. But like the song that we made, like I just never put it out. I didn't really have too much faith in it, but I always thought that the dude was dope, and we just stayed following each other. Fast forward 4 or 5 years, the dude got platinum plaques now, bro. I swear to God, he's got songs with like Meek Mill. He produced like 2 or 3 songs on Meek Mill's last album. He's got like a fucking platinum plaque with 6ix9ine and like just random people, and it's just like, it's dope to see. When I met him, he had like 200 followers, bro.
Really?
You know, now he's like verified and like
so it's crazy kind of to watch the game change, huh? Because you've been in it for a while, and then you've seen the internet hit the scene and like really just changed the game. Like we were saying,
Yeah.
I said, like with CDs before, we don't got CDs no more. Like,
Yeah,
really.
that's why I wanted to tell that story, just how crazy, like, where we're at these days. You know, you can meet people off a fucking hashtag.
Yeah, I remember watching one of these hip hop things on Netflix, and it kind of talked about that, where they're just, you know, anybody, you can make a song with the kid in fucking in Syria or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, about some political shit or whatever you want to do through the email, internet. You just email whatever. You know, it's easy as fuck. You get a little microphone and shit. That shit's dope. And I like that. I like that about hip hop music, like how they sampled it and shit. You know what I mean? They kind of just did what they had to do with what they had, and made their art that way. That shit's dope as fuck.
Yeah, man, it's dope.
So what's up, man? What you about to do for the rest of the day? We got an hour in.
Work. Finish these songs. Working on these projects. Like I said, I'm trying to release a new. Like I got lined up things to release every month this year. So it's like song, music video, merchandise. Song, video, merchandise, so it's just like constantly.
This man never chills. He's got no
Constantly
chill.
going. Nah, like again with the music shit, and like if I'd be touring right now, you know, I'd be doing shows like random shows here and there, and just like constantly moving. And since I don't have that movement, I just kind of
taking
like
advantage of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to just cook up. So I'm just like, let's release shit. Over these past like 10 years. I haven't released a lot of music. I was just so busy trying to be on the road and shit. And now that I feel like I got a decent audience stacked up watching what I'm doing, it's like, all right, now it's time to give you guys the music.
Yeah, well, bring it, man. Let's keep bringing it.
Yeah, I will, man. It's coming.
Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up. But yeah, man, keep bringing it, and good luck with all your endeavors, man.
You too, bro. Thanks, man.
Thank you. Yeah, let's wrap it up, and then let's do another one.
Yep.
All right, yeah, let's get together and do another one soon.